Hello everyone, welcome back to the kitchen table. Today on the kitchen table, Lego. No, it's not that at all. It was my son's 9th birthday on the 1st of October, and he has first dibs to build his Lego, and he's done that all by himself, and it's very cool. No, today on the kitchen table, we're not going to be on the kitchen table. We're going to visit Barry Clack, professional photographer. Remember, he did a little part 1 for us, which was how to use some of the manual camera settings on your Phantom or any other sort of drone with a built-in camera that has manual settings. How to use some of those to maybe make a more balanced, a more neutral image that you can then take into your favorite editor and tweak to your liking. Well, we're at the tweaking stage. So we're going to go over and visit Barry because he's got a far more impressive computer rig than I have, and he's going to show us some very basic, fundamental things that you can tweak on your image just to get it looking exactly how you want. So let's hand over to Barry now.
This is a clip that I have filmed. It's slightly underexposed of a field and a path on a bright sunny day, mid-morning. That's a little bit under, so I need to tug it up so it becomes a masterpiece. I'm using Adobe Premiere CC 2015, which is the new subscription model, which is a great way to get into it. But there are many other pieces of software you can use. You do not have to just use Adobe. Final Cut Pro is great, and there is now some great free editing software. Just use your Google and find it. But for this purpose, I am going to use Adobe. As I said, I purposely underexposed this so you can see the field on the right is a little bit darker than the field on the left because it's higher and the sun's hitting the lower one. So we need to make it a little bit brighter. So again, in Premiere, you type brightness in the top of our effects and you just drag the brightness and contrast over to the right hand side, and then you can look at all the little bits and bobs you can change. So here's the brightness. We need to tug it up slightly because it's underexposed. So I'm going to try and do it so they're roughly the same, and then we'll apply some contrast to try and make sure they're pretty much identical. There isn't really any hard and fast rules for this. It's just have a nice big preview pane open so you can see what you're doing and then adjust accordingly. Obviously that's far too dark, far too bright there. So just make it so it's balanced. It looks good there. And so that will then be done. Then we'll have a look at our contrast. The three things, contrast even, take that bit out. The three things you need to worry about is brightness, contrast, and colour. Because now we've adjusted the brightness, it means that the colour can be washed out. As you can see on the left hand side, that's now a lot brighter than it was. So what you need to make sure is that everything is fairly balanced so that it all looks good. Let's go down to our contrast pane then, and you can see that I've adjusted the brightness to 22.9. Contrast, again, it's all by eye. There's no point changing it to presets because it can change so much. If you go to 22.9, just as an idea, that gives you a rough percentage of what I've done it before. It's not far off actually, maybe a bit more. And as you can see, this now has become far more pleasing to the eye. It was a lot whiter, and obviously if you go down the other way, it just makes it all very samey, and you don't want that. This was recorded using the log settings that we discussed in the original video on the kitchen table. Again, you don't have to use the log settings, but it just gives a very neutral and balanced recording. You need to make sure though that your settings are good. I had a problem this morning in the sense that I used an 8-inch tablet, and first thing in the morning, beautiful sunrise, and I thought the settings were great, and then looked at them on a bigger screen and there were a few artifacts where I just had the film speed a bit low. So don't expect instant perfect results. Keep trying, practicing, and you'll get there in the end. So we've looked at brightness, we've looked at contrast. As you can see, there's a little bit more contrast needed for this. You can see the definition on the shadows of the trees there. That looks good. That is black, that is green, that is green. So it's all quite nicely balanced. Colour, I'm going to change it just so you can see, but I think if I'm completely honest, I'm happy with it. So go down to your effects and type your color settings, we want to change our color, drag it over to the clip that we have selected here, and as you can see, you have a small pipette, strange thing, and you just sample your color. So you can change the color temperature. You can obviously make the blues more blue or take it to more white. Again, this is really something which you would do for your own preference, because I think the colour, actually what the Phantom produces is pretty spot on. It's not far off. But you can change the colour temperature just to suit. So here's our finished and edited clip. Bit more brightness, bit more contrast. And I think looks a lot better. But of course you don't need to do any of that. You can take this out, and if you want to be really boring, get rid of all the settings we've got here. And in this software, and it exists sometimes as a plugin that you can buy for specific editing software, they certainly do it for Premiere, and in fact Adobe have included this in this particular brand, is presets. So you can have your own presets color. This is for more movie making type things. On the Adobe, you can choose a particular camera. Now, they don't currently have anything to do with DJI. GoPro is on here, but no DJI. So if you're still using a GoPro underneath your Phantom, you are at a slight advantage. However, they do a universal set of looks, what they call it. Plugins, really, to change the whole scene. And what these do is they will add preset brightness, colour and contrast to anything. It's very unforgiving sometimes, particularly if you set things on auto on your camera, but this is what we're trying to get away from. So if you wanted a preset look for your whole show reel, you can use these things here. They're called looks, and as you can see, the one that's on there now is blue cold. There's many of them. You can buy them in. They come as presets on Adobe, but that doesn't mean to say you can't get them. You can get them for anything. And they just add a little punch to your clips to make everything seem the same. This is very personal to people that make films and make them want to look a certain way. I tend to stick to certain plugins which I like, but that doesn't mean to say they're good or bad. It just gives you a preset. So if you want to have a go at doing that rather than mess about with colour and brightness and contrast first of all, it's a good way to start. It gives you a look, and then you can tinker around a bit more and see how things go from there.
So there we go. Just a quick overview really of those key fundamentals. Obviously, we've only scratched the surface of what you can do with editing programs, but I'm also conscious that not everyone uses Adobe, not everyone uses the same system. So there's going to be different things that you can look at, different presets and so on and so forth. But I think for anyone who's followed Barry's advice on sort of getting a more neutral look with the manual settings, then using the brightness, the contrast and the color just to tweak things is going to get you a much better image overall. And hopefully in the middle there you notice when I just rewound the before, you could see that it does look better, at least to my eyes. And that's the other thing not to get hung up on. It's all down to individual taste, and of course everyone's perception of color and what makes a good look is different. So don't be too sort of bit holden to trying to get a particular look. You just make something that looks good for you. That was it. I hope you found that useful and interesting. I'm certainly now got more confidence to go and tweak some things. I've had a look at, I don't use Adobe, I use Power Director, which is a different bit of editing software. So there we go. Hope that's been useful, and I will see you again soon back on the kitchen table. For those who support the channel, really many thanks. There are lots of ways you can do that in the links down below, including some that don't cost any money at all. And for those of you that do contribute, either with donations or mugs or Patreon subscriptions, I really appreciate it. It helps us to keep going. So many thanks indeed, and I'll see you again soon back on the kitchen table. And until then, cheers.